BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open 2.0. I'm your host, Bianca.
I'm Gemmas.
And I'm Sarah.
And today we have a packed show with amazing guests for you. First up, we sit down with two Truman students who made their school proud with a big win.
Then we'll go green with a program that not only helps us create greener organizations, but also greener cities.
Finally, when it comes to eating healthy, the Bronx is in good hands. Senator Gustavo Rivera sits with us to discuss the Bronx Can Health Initiative.
So don't go anywhere because more Open 2.0 is coming your way.
We are Open 2.0 on BronxNet.
Welcome back to Open 2.0. I'm your host, Cherry Paris. Senator Gustavo Rivera has created a goal to live healthier for himself. Why has he done this, you may ask? Well, it's because of his part in the Bronx Can Health Initiative, a program designed to encourage Bronx residents to live a healthier lifestyle. So here to tell us more about this is New York State Senator Gustavo Rivera. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sherry.
So what exactly is the Bronx Can Health Initiative?
Well, first of all, the unfortunate reality is that the Bronx is the unhealthiest county in the entire state. Has high rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease. And so partnering up with the Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr., and other community-based organizations, other elected officials, hospitals, we thought, what can we do to bring attention to this issue? And then talk about what we can do a little differently to be able to be healthier. So, taking a page out of The Biggest Loser, if you will, I've struggled with my weight my entire life. So I weighed myself publicly. And I weighed in at 299 pounds. And then I said, what am I going to do between now and October to lose 20 pounds? So that's my goal between now and October, to get down to 279. But more importantly, talk about what am I doing on a daily basis to actually change a little bit of what I do to live a healthier life. Bronx Can stands for changing attitudes now. And I believe that if we do change our attitudes, if we eat healthier, if we exercise on a regular basis, and if we have long-term goals, then we can be able to be healthier as individuals, and as a result, we can have a healthier community.
And what's the process of this program? Like, how do you tell children how to start to become healthier?
Well, we're doing it in stages. The first, in July, we talked about nutrition. We sent out a calendar to everyone in the district that tells them where their green markets and youth markets, green markets, and farmers markets are all over the district. Since there's there's things that we can do on a daily basis to eat healthier and be healthier, but there's also issues of access. There's a lot of times when what we have closest is, instead of having Starbucks every corner, we have a Kennedy Fried Chicken in every corner. And then sometimes the supermarkets that we have available don't have good choices of fruits and vegetables. So the first thing we did is talk about nutrition, and then we wanted that to be across the board. We're not talking just to adults, we're talking also to young people and to the elderly as well. So we went, I've gone to the green markets. I've visited 4 of them so far, and mean to visit the rest of them from here until November. We also did some events at local community organizations. We did one at the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center. We kicked it off at the Mary Mitchell Center, and we made sure that we brought young people as well, that we invited, that we reached out to some of the youth groups that are parts of those community organizations, and that we reached out to other youth organizations to make sure that it wasn't just adults that were there, but it was also young people, anywhere from little children all the way up to to high school graduates like yourself.
And has there been any result from this program?
Yes, we've had dozens and dozens of community members that have joined us. There's actually a website, www.bronxcan.com. That's BronxCan.com. People can actually join us if they log on to the website. They can log on to there. They can tell us about what are the challenges that are affecting them. They can tell us these are my goals, and then keep track of them on the website and let us know what's going on. So there's been a result for me. I've already lost about 8 pounds of the total 20 that I mean to lose, and we've had dozens and maybe hundreds of people that have joined us at the 2 public activities that we've done so far. This next month, we're going to focus on we focused on nutrition in July, and now we're going to focus on exercise. So we're going to do a couple of events later in the month, and at BronxCan.com people can see when the events are going to happen. But we're going to go to public parks, and we're going to bring dancing instructors, we're going to bring capoeira instructors, we're going to bring yoga instructors, Zumba instructors, so that people can actually do some physical activity right in their backyard. So we don't have to go down to Manhattan, or we don't have to go up to Westchester. We have a lot of resources that are available to us right here, and we're just underlining them.
Thank you, Senator Rivera, for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sherry.
Stay tuned, because there's more 2.0 coming up next.
Take my hand and start a brand new day, and together as one we'll start to see some change. Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
The Bronx is known for its tall buildings, lively neighborhoods, and exciting fast-paced life. But now we can add one more thing to it, our beautiful urban gardens. So let's hop on a trolley and check it out. Do you want to know 3 great places to get fresh fruits and vegetables? Well, here with the Bronx Trolley is making it possible. Let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bronx Urban Farm Tour. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to be, y'all always wanted to do this. Testing 1, 2, testing 1. Now this is something that I found out that I did not know, that the Bronx is the most unhealthiest borough in New York. But we're going to change all that. And as a matter of fact, we're going to change that whole thing in New York, because New York might not be the most healthy borough in the country, but we're going to change all that. And the United States might not even be the most healthiest country in the world, and we're going to change all of that.
The Bronx Trolley includes 3 gardens, La Finca del Sur, Garden of Happiness, and Enrico de Corrio.
We're here at La Finca del Sur Urban Farm at 138th Street and Grand Concourse, and they have a lot of activities going on this summer that people are welcome to come by and check them out anytime. So today, right now, there's a healthy cooking demo that Montefiore is here. They're leading that right now. Afterwards, we're going to go around and do some trellising of cucumbers and tomatoes that could use some extra support, so we'll be doing that. And then after this site, we'll be going to Garden of Happiness for lunch, which is on Prospect Avenue and 182nd Street. So we'll be there, and after that, we'll be at Rincon Criollo at 157th Street and Brook Avenue. This site is called an urban farm. It's bigger than the other sites. And it's also a newer site. This is the 3rd season that it's been happening. All these plots that you see here, these are all grown for the market, and for, a lot of people work communally on taking care of these plots. There's another section of the farm where it's more traditional community garden style, where people have individual plots that they take care of and harvest for themselves and their family or their community. Garden of Happiness is a community garden that's been around since 1988, and that garden also has the more traditional community plot style garden. There's lots of families that participate. They have all different kinds of community events, but they also contribute to a farmer's market, the La Familia Verde Market, which is on Tuesdays during the farming gardening season on Arthur Avenue and East Tremont Avenue.
Other programs and organizations team up with the Bronx Tour.
My job as a health educator is to bring awareness about physical activity and lifestyle choices to people here in the South Bronx. And that's kind of Montefiore's mission as well. We work with the community relations department at Montefiore, and so just to bring outreach to the community and introduce them to different ways of doing things than buying things at the grocery store. So we did a peach salsa demonstration, and that was all fresh fruits and veggies, and it was really delicious. I think people really liked that. So it's a way that you can get it without, you know, popping open a jar. So it's pretty easy to do. It's simple ingredients, just garlic, peaches, cilantro, limes, jalapenos. So it's pretty easy. That's a big focus also, to make things that are easy and healthy.
Each urban garden is kept beautiful and fresh by their respective farmers.
Hi, my name is Karen Washington. I'm an urban farmer, and you're here in the Garden of Happiness. And I tell people that because every time they enter this place, they feel happy. The Garden of Happiness was started back in 1988. It was one of 15,000 vacant lots that was out through New York City. So people got together, came in, took away the trash, and made this a garden oasis. At first it started out being beautification. Now we're actually growing food to feed our family. So the Garden of Happiness, like many other gardens and urban farms, have become the mainstay of community. That's why they call it community garden, because it brings communities of different ethnicities together.
Attendees speak positively about the tour and express their thoughts on the Bronx urban farms.
I do gardening, and then it was nice I found out that they're having this trolley trip to see different community gardens in the Bronx, and I figured this would be a great way to see some of the gardens that are around, and just come and learn, see different techniques people are doing, and just to meet people that are in the community gardens, and they hear some of the experiences that these people are telling about their gardens today. And I thought that was a good reason to come and check out the garden. I wish there were more. I really do. I think it's unfortunate there's not more gardens. I guess it's hard when you already have a built-up urban environment, but I think not just empty areas, but I think people need to look at gardening like on rooftops and other green space wherever available. And I think this is a whole thing, a start to get more people in the gardening by people seeing the community gardens, but we really need more. My surprise, that's a good question. I'm not sure how to look at it. It seems like it's few if you look at other cities, not knowing the facts, but I think that a lot of cities do have community gardens, and I really hope that, New York City, the UN of the world, should have more. That's my take.
I'm Bianca Ortiz reporting for BronxNet.
Hello and welcome back to Open 2.0. I'm your host, Aquila Paris. As you know, here on 2.0, we bring in different high school students from all over the Bronx, training them to accomplish all they can in media. Channel 7 News anchor Sade Badernois hosted a PSA competition with young high school students. One of our own 2.0 interns and his classmates have taken down the competition to win the contest. Ian Denton and Ernesto Gonzalez are rising juniors at Truman High School and an inspiration to all young media hopefuls. Hello.
Thanks for having us.
So what is a PSA?
Well, a PSA is the letters PSA stand for Public Service Announcement, and it's a short video that's designed to get a message out about a cause or a social issue. So it could be anything from abuse to anti-smoking, drinking, teen pregnancy, any kind of issue like that are the types of things that a public service announcement hopes to address, usually in short 30 or 60-second videos.
Cool. Now, Ian, what was your PSA about?
My PSA was about child abuse. And I chose child abuse because I want people to know that it's out there and that they can get help if there's help needed.
Was there any difficulties making your PSA?
Well, there was a lot of difficulties actually. We had to consider things like the time limit, 30 seconds for the video, and we had to make it by the deadline. And it was actually hard factoring all these things, all the shots that we had to do. We had to cut down some of the script, and just a lot of things that we had to do to make it a perfect video.
How did you guys get into the contest?
Well, we found out from our teacher, Mr. Rausch, and he basically just told us that we should enter the contest because he wants to see what we could do, and we entered in first competition ever, so I guess we did good.
You know, one of the things I told my students, when I was in high school, I had a teacher who made me compete in some things that I didn't want to compete in. And I think it's fair to say that neither one of you really wanted to do it, right? Is that fair? I think it's a fair thing to say. But when my teacher in high school made me compete, I actually won the competition that I competed in. So even though some of these guys weren't totally 100% wanting to do it at first, I knew that they had the skill and the talent to put something together that would be a winning piece. And so I'm kind of glad I forced their hand a little bit to make them compete, because the result, you know, speaks for itself.
What did you guys win?
The first place prize was 12 grand, and since we both did the project, we split it 50-50. You know, so yeah.
Good start for some college cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you won?
It was sort of nerve-wracking. She was actually toying with us a little bit when she was about to announce it, and it was like drum rolls and everything. So once she announced us, I really couldn't even believe it. It was such an incredible feeling. It was rushing, adrenaline was pumping and everything. It felt really good.
How was it working with your students?
You know, my students are great. I'm in my I just finished my third year in the program at Truman High School, and you know, one of the things I'm trying to get across to them is that there's nothing that they can't do. A lot of times students come into something with an idea that this is hard, or there's, you know, they hear that it's all the schools in New York City, so they don't want to, you know, go up against that kind of competition. And I try to explain to them, look, you know, you're learning a lot of skills over the course of 3 and 4 years that students in other schools just don't have. And I really want to get them to understand that they are the best at their game. They really are the best at their game. Now they have to go out and prove it. And that's kind of the stage where we are right now, is proving, not only to my students, proving to themselves, but proving to the rest of New York City that we've got a good thing going at Truman.
How did you guys come up with the idea of child abuse?
Well, the idea was mainly his, so personal experience.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to make a video that when you see it, it would move you. That you would, let's say, wow, you know, I wanted it to make you cry. I wanted to build feeling, you know, inside. I wanted you to know that there is people out there that need help. You understand that there's people out there that cannot get help because they're stuck in certain situations. That I know people personally, I know people that has dealt with this problem. So I wanted the judges or whoever is judging the criteria to know that, you know, there's people out there, honestly, there's people out there that needs help. So that's what I wanted to put in this PSA.
And what did you want people to feel? Anything?
Well, yeah, we wanted them to feel like they didn't expect anything from that, but at the end of it, you see all the emotion and the feelings from it, and once they see it, they know that they can get help for it, and that there's somebody listening and watching and that wants to help them.
And one of the hardest things for me as a teacher to watch as they worked on this project is there is some personal experience built into this whole PSA for Ian, and you know, watching him read the script into the camera was a very emotional thing, and I think it was safe to say it was difficult. It wasn't an easy thing for you to do, and as a teacher it was kind of hard for me to watch because I wanted him to put that emotion into it, but I didn't want to push him to the point where he was upset or he was damaged by, you know, putting all this out there and pouring that much emotion out on the lens. But when you do have an opportunity to see, you'll know that it's not acting. It's very much raw emotion in this PSA, and I think that's what the message gets across.
And what are your views on child abuse?
Well, you know, it's one of those situations as a teacher I have to be very, very keenly aware of children in situations where there's abuse, and it's just important for people to know that when you see something, you got to say something. If you know one of your friends or family members in a situation that's not safe, you know, it might not be the most comfortable thing to pick up the phone or tell a teacher or call a guidance counselor, but there's help out there, and you've got to get the help if you're in that situation. You just can't stay in that situation. I'm a victim of abuse when I was a child also, so I can speak from personal experience. And no kid needs to go through that, and it's not an easy process, but it's a process that people have to pay attention to, and they need to get help when they need it.
Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us in.
Stay tuned because there's more 2.0 coming up next.
May 22nd, 2009. That's when it all started. The kicking, the punching, the fighting. I thought it would never stop. I need help. I don't know what to do anymore. This is my story. It doesn't have to be yours.
Welcome back to Open 2.0. I'm your host, Neilani Rodriguez. Changing our neighborhoods, boroughs, and cities is no easy task, but changing them to work for a greener world is even harder. However, one person is accomplishing just that. His name is Omar Freya. With his own program, Green Workers Cooperatives, Omar has been invited by the BMW Guggenheim Lab to take part in public plans for the future of our city. Thank you so much for being here.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So can you tell me what exactly is Green Workers?
Well, Green Worker Cooperatives is a nonprofit organization. We're based in the Bronx, and we have one mission, which is to start up, create, launch worker-owned businesses in the Bronx that are green. So what we are looking to do is to really develop more and have more businesses in the Bronx that are able to improve environmental conditions in any kind of a way, and have businesses that are actually owned by the people who work there.
So there's no age limit on this at all?
No, there's no age limit at all.
So anybody from any part of the city can just come in with an idea?
Yeah. As long as you've got an idea, you're committed to working on it and making it real, making it into a real business, we'll work with you to make it happen.
Your work with this program that you founded,
right,
that got you on the spotlight with the BMW Guggenheim Labs program. Like they wanted you to bring you into their program. How was that like?
Well, the Guggenheim Museum reached out to me not too long ago, earlier in the beginning of the year, and said that they were putting on they had this idea for an exhibition, a project that they were going to kick off in the fall, and asked me to be on board, one of five members of a team that would make this happen. So the other members of the team are from other parts of the planet, Nigeria, Canada, and the Netherlands, and myself representing the Bronx, and so in New York. And so what we really came up with was taking their idea and really making it into an exhibition. So it actually opens, today is August 3rd, so it opens up today down in the Lower East Side, in the East Village. And it's all programs are free. It's about 11 weeks worth of programs in a space. And so the way it's set up is that it's really intended as a space, similar to the idea for our cooperatives. It's intended as a space where people can actually come, make decisions together, get involved in debate, and really create a space where you can have democracy. You know, we grow up and we live in a country where people talk about democracy a lot, but you know, I can ask you, when was the last time you actually experienced democracy?
Never.
Yeah, and I'd ask everybody out there, you know, really, when was the last time that any of us can say we experienced democracy, and how often does it happen?
And sometimes you can't even really label it.
Yeah, you're not really sure. And so that just makes you question, you know, how can we talk about something and talk about it to other countries, you know, when we can't even recognize it ourselves every day.
And this exhibit is traveling around the world.
It's traveling around the world. It's here in New York for the next 11 weeks, so until October 16th, which is your birthday. Yes. So, you know, it's here all through that time, and there's going to be full of activities, and we're really challenging this issue about what does it mean to be comfortable, who's paying the price for individual comfort. So if somebody turns on a light switch in the Upper East Side, you know, to turn on the lights and cool their apartment, what does that do for the people who live in the South Bronx or who live in some other parts of the city? Right, because that's where the power plants are and the garbage companies that make it possible for people to be comfortable.
So how did you get involved with this? Like, did they just call you up, say, oh, I want you to be a part of this program, or was there a process or something?
There was a process. You know, they had their own nomination process, and people submitted names, and my particular name came up, and so it went through their process, and then I got a call one day. But you know, it was based out of the work that had been happening with Green Worker Cooperatives. And so for us, it's a great recognition, and certainly glad to be part of it and be part of the process. And there are lots of opportunities for people to go and experience some of the workshops and the seminars and the games, because we're doing a lot of things that are actually fun. It's not just talking heads, but doing things that are really addressing issues that people are dealing with. So whether it's gentrification, or whether it's environmental justice or environmental racism, or whether it's the quality of schools or the prison system, any number of things, all of those are issues that are being addressed over at the lab.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of Open 2.0. I want to thank all our guests for stopping by, the crew, and you, the viewer. Don't forget to stay tuned next Friday at 4:30 p.m. for another episode of Open 2.0 here on BronxNet. See you next time.